What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. I'm here to do my American Horror Story Season 7, Episode 1 review. This season is called The Cult. It was off the chain, y'all. Let's get into it. All right, I didn't take a whole lot of notes because we all saw the show. We know what happened, so I'm basically going to give you a review with a little dash of recap here and there, okay? I'm just going to talk about what happened, what we think about the season. I want to hear your thoughts. So I haven't watched American Horror Story from the first season, all the way through. I came in kind of late and I started watching kind of late. So, my favorite season is season 3, Coven. And I like the fact that American Horror Story brings back characters, from the different seasons. My first thoughts when I first saw the show was lots of people are going to be pissed. There's lots of people who are going to be upset about this season because it targets not just one particular group that shall not be named, okay? It targets a lot of different groups. It really targets the extremes in every different political group they have. Republicans, Democrats, third-party voters, people who protest voted or did not vote. Everybody gets some. They spread the love, but, the extremist group or the cult group, even the cult that is forming, we see has members of the cult or people are participating in the acts of the cult that are not necessarily 45 supporters, okay? Some of them was Hillary supporters. So it's kind of interesting how these things are coming together. But a lot of people going to be pissed, upset, and in their feelings because, AHS pulls no punches. And, a reasonable, rational person can decipher, guys, that this show is a TV show. So it's going to be 10 times more extra, everything than it would be in real life. But some people don't understand that and they get all upset. Like I seen another reviewer and a lot of people in the comments why I feel the show depicts anybody who have 2 cents in their brain in their head know that all Republicans don't act like this or all Democrats don't act like that or but there are extremes, okay? And this is a TV show, so they're gonna even take the extreme to an extreme, okay? Trying to make it a point. So people, stay out your feelings, okay? In the comments, we ain't got to argue. We won't have to argue about who is better, who is worse, and all of that. Because it's a TV show, we're going to take it like a TV show. We have enough stressful stuff in real life to be worried about. So keep it cute and nice in the comments, please. I really would appreciate that. All right, so we have Allie. Allie is our main character. Allie, her wife is Ivy. They have a son together. His name is Oz. And they live in an affluent neighborhood next to Tom and his wife. And we find out that Tom is on the city council of whatever place they live, okay? And we also have Kai on the other side, and his sister, I'm assuming Winter. They both have the same last name, so I'm assuming they are brother and sister. I don't think they're husband and wife. They have those two on the other side. Now, Allie and Ivy and that whole family, they're all Democrats. Obviously, they're a gay married couple, and they have a son, 2 women together, and they have a son. So they're very, Democratic, Hillary Clinton, third-party voters, right? Kai, on the other side, Kai is an extreme Trump supporter, okay? His sister Winter is a Hillary Clinton supporter. Even though I would say that Winter is probably the hardest character to peg out of everybody because she's a Hillary Clinton supporter, but yes, she's participating in the foolishness and the that's going on in the household with Allie and Ivy and Oz and all of this stuff. Allie has a lot of phobias. She's scared of everything. And apparently she has had this under control for a lot of years, but now there are starting to reemerge after the election because, her anxiety is just kind of coming out. And so it's starting to take effect on her family, her son, and everything. So she sees the therapist and she's telling the therapist all about this and how he's, dealing with this. And he tells her why I stopped, on social media. I cut out my social media because, if I don't need to know every crazy thing that happens in the world. So maybe you should think about that, stop feeding into it and let it go. Yes, it's an important thing, but y'all have to, politics can't take over our whole life. We have to have some moments of joy. She need her some white girl joy, okay? Come on, white girl. Have some joy, girl. Don't be upset about everything. It's just 4 years. We can make it through. We done made it through a whole lot of stuff, but she is not doing well. So all her other fears are starting to manifest themselves. She catches Oz reading a comic book. In this comic book, they bring us into another story with Twisty, the character from Carnival. Twisty the Clown. Y'all remember Twisty the Clown with the broke off jaw and all of that? So he's in a comic book that Oz is reading. He's killing. It's a whole scene where he kills somebody or whatever. It's really cool how they integrate that into the comic book, but she catches him reading the comic book. She's scared of clowns. The girl scared of everything. When she in the therapist's office, she was scared of the coral that was on the shelf because the coral has holes in it, so she's scared of holes. She's scared of everything, confined spaces, y'all, everything. Okay, so she just basically tripping all day long. You know, she's seeing things. We can't tell if things are really happening or this is just the perception in her mind of what's happened. It's a lot going on in this mind trip. She had me scared, and I didn't know if stuff was really happening or not, child. Okay, so it was crazy. On the other end, Kai is happy. He's elated about the election. We see him humping the TV. I mean, he even rubbed Cheeto dust all over his face, child. Really? Y'all really gonna do this? He rubbed Cheeto dust all over his face. He goes in the room to tell his sister, I'm assuming to gloat, but they have this moment where they lock pinkies and they tell the truth about each other, and she reveals that she is very scared of him. He's the scariest thing to her. She also reveals that she's devastated that Hillary Clinton did not win. He asked her, who do you want to kill? She said, I don't want to kill anybody. He says, you want to kill the people who voted for, you know, Donald Trump, basically. And she didn't really say yes or no. And then he asked her something about the most painful child. It was nasty. He asked her something about anal. Girl, don't nobody want to hear all of that. Don't nobody want to hear that. They have their little weird moment together. I read in an article that Brian Murphy said that he's going to satirically approach Ivy and Allie's white privilege, because there's several moments during the show where you're like, okay, like when she's talking to the therapist, she says something about, you know, what happened to me after 9/11, I couldn't leave my house. Now, I'm not saying that's not valid. You know, she had anxiety, but it's like, girl, you don't have nothing to be afraid of. You're a white woman in America. Why would you be scared to leave your house? Why? We know that her fears are somewhat irrational, and it was almost like to the point where it was funny a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. I ain't want to laugh at the girl pain, but some of it was like out of control, ridiculous. There's also another moment where they talk about the housekeeper is gone, she's missing, and we don't know if she went back to Guatemala or we don't know if she got deported. Rounded up. My thing is, you can find out. You haven't tried to find out, and it wasn't even a thought of, we're going to try to find out what happened to her. This somebody's whole life, and you ain't seen them in weeks. Y'all haven't even tried to find out. It was just, we're just going to hire a new housekeeper. We need to put out an ad because we need a new housekeeper. I mean, they would have needed one regardless, but the fact of the matter is, you didn't even try to find out where your housekeeper went. What happened to her? Did she get deported? You don't know. I mean, if she got deported, it should be some type of official record. They don't just throw people on the thing and throw them off in Mexico. Like, that don't happen. But that was two moments that I want to point out that, you know, like I said, some of her fears are irrational. Some of, even she's steeped in, you know, WP. We don't want to, I don't want them to not monetize my video, so I have to be careful about the words I use. You know, this is a touchy subject, and people be in their feelings, girl, behind politics. Okay, it's crazy. I guess I'm thinking that some type of plan is devised with Kai, his sister, and this cult he got going on, because they end up hiring Winter to be the new housekeeper, and Winter is taking Oz and basically like desensitizing him to violence. So she gets on the dark web. She shows him all of this horrible stuff with people getting killed, tells him it's like a vaccination. So, you know, you should be able to basically, I'm going to desensitize you to violence. I want you to get used to seeing people getting murdered. And so then he looks out the window. He sees people coming across, not across the street. I'm sorry. Across the street, he sees a group of people. They go into the neighbor's house. We find out later that this is Tom's house, Tom, the city councilman, who has embarrassed Kai, which I'll talk about in a second, earlier in the episode. But the family ends up getting killed. Now, I'm not sure if the group of people killed the neighbors or it was a murder-suicide, and he was just, and Oz just was making up a fanciful story to tell his mom, because he have an active imagination. That's what Winter told the mom, but we're shown him and Winter going across the street, she heard lifting him up to the window, and basically allowing him to watch these people get killed. But my thing is, the way that they were killed, the police said it was a murder-suicide too, so I would have to see the way that they were killed, because when the boy was looking at them, I mean, they were stabbed all over the body. They stabbed the man all over his body. So my thing, if it was a murder-suicide, how could that woman stab that man all over the body and then kill her, and then kill herself? So I don't know the manner in which he was killed. I don't know whether to believe the boy or them, but I'm inclined to believe the boy, because obviously this is a cult with people that are trying to, you know, infiltrate this household for whatever. I think he knows, you know, maybe because we find out later that Allie did not vote for Hillary Clinton. She voted for Jill Stein. Okay, because the first time we see Kai and Allie actually interact with each other is because her and Ivy are arguing about what's going on. Allie promises she's going to try to get a hold over her fears, and they start arguing about the voting, and Kai walks up behind them and throws coffee on them. I'm assuming this is because they're two lesbians clearly arguing with each other, and he's a bigoted person. Now let's go to Kai. Kai is hell bent on, the purge, okay? Like making everybody scared, making everybody afraid, so that people will allow a person to take over. That's what usually happens, y'all. This is a formula that has happened throughout history. So he has all these speeches he wants to say. He goes to the city council meeting. He's the only one there. He gets up to speak, and basically says this. In a nutshell, I want to make everybody afraid. We don't need more security. We need to let chaos reign so that, we will have somebody will come and protect us. So we will allow someone to come and protect us. So Tom, sitting on city council, basically gave him the read swiftly and professionally read him to the white meat, okay? And was like, I know you just, now that you done climbed out your mama basement because 45 have won, I know he done gave you a little gas or whatever, but ain't nobody scared of you. You're the one that's scared, okay? That's why you're doing all this. And he tells him, there's nothing worse than a man who is embarrassed. That Kai has been embarrassed, and now he about to taste up to a whole nother level. So later on in the episode, he goes and finds a group of Hispanic men. They're getting ready to go to work. It's early in the morning or late at night. I'm not exactly sure. He takes he pees into a balloon and throws the balloon of pee at them, and they come over to him and obviously beat him up, okay? But he's recording the whole thing. So this is another take on manipulating information, creating a story where there is no story. Now you can say, oh, these Mexican people, these illegal aliens are beating me up and all of this, but you created the situation and baited them into the situation to make it, to skew it to however you wanted to skew it. So I think he's going to use that to victimize himself, to kind of lift himself on the platform, because we see that he's going to be running for some type of office throughout this show. Allie in the grocery store. Child, let me tell you something. Allie had me scared in the grocery store. I didn't know if it was happening, if it wasn't happening or not. Tell me if you think that was really happening, what was in the grocery store. Now, at first, I was inclined to say no after the police came into the whole situation and was like, they didn't see no evidence. But now that I see the cult has some members and some things going on, they could have orchestrated that whole thing to scare that lady and just, make her fears really manifest. But at the dinner table, I don't know if the people were in there at the dinner, because my thing is you will see the door open and close and nobody gonna be there and just disappear, okay? We already know this season there's not gonna be any paranormal things going on. That's already been established and said by Ryan Murphy and company. So there's not gonna be things flying and people disappearing and reappearing. The most paranormal we're gonna see is probably Twisty. The grocery store thing happened. Basically, Ivy wants Allie to get on medication. Allie does not want to get on medication, so they talk about the relationship later on. The relationship is not going as great as it could be, so they try to have dinner. Allie decides she's going to start going back to work. She's going to conquer her fears. All of these things. They have a dinner. She starts hallucinating again at the dinner, tripping again. Okay, so they run around. She's running around the restaurant. The clown, he was here, he was here, he was here. She's looking real crazy right now. Okay, so they decide to go home. When they get home, they arrive and they find Oz and Winter outside, at the crime scene with the neighbors. Like I said, the police tell them that it was a suicide murder. Why wouldn't you turn around and fire Winter? Because Winter tells them that they didn't come outside. They saw the neighbors, the police, and that's when they came outside. This whole story that Oz has told y'all is not true, but I think it's true. Okay, I think that it's true. Kind of confused, but I think it's true though. I'm a little confused about everything, but I think that the story is true. That grocery store scene was crazy. Like, it tripped me out. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I was scared as hell. But my thing is, why would you jump in the car and press the gas? Like, who does that? You had a pole right in front of you. When she got in the car, I was like, she gonna hit that pole. I already know she gonna hit the pole. Yeah, so I got everything. So when Allie goes to sleep that night, finally, she gets to rest. When she wakes up in the middle of the night, she rolls over and there's a person with the mask in the bed next to her. Like I said, the first episode was really good. I do feel like it's going to piss people off this season because, people get sensitive and not all people are like this and that other. Okay, if it ain't you, child, if it don't apply, let it fly. If it don't apply, let it fly. That means if you don't feel that way, if that is not you, if you don't believe those things, okay, then don't get on the internet complaining. If you don't like the way it depicts whoever you voted for, whatever your affiliation, whatever your party is, don't watch it. Just don't watch it. I don't watch Fox News because I don't want to see that mess. That foolishness and lies they be telling y'all on there. I don't watch it. Just don't watch it. It's real simple, y'all. And like I said, let's keep it nice in the comments. Let's keep it the conversation confined to the show and not necessarily get off into what you think about 45 or not. Okay? It's a TV show, and let's just leave it as a TV show. Because like I said, we have enough real things to be stressed about. So we don't want to get and stress about make-believe things. Okay? So I thought it was a good show. It's going to be an interesting season. You know what they say about life imitating art, but this is kind of like art illuminating life for us a little bit, okay? I want to hear your thoughts. Please comment, subscribe, share the video, turn on your notifications because sometimes life happens and my videos are a little late. So turn them on so you can know when it's coming, all right? So let me know what you think. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.